The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We talk about something that I think is so important to many demographics in the United States and all over the world. We're talking about mortgage solutions and a lot of other things, and I am excited to have this guest on to discuss this great topic. But before we go anything, how you doing? How you doing, Dr. Cook?
I'm doing great. And yes, this topic is close to all our hearts, especially if you're a military family or you're a senior, but it's a human topic, interest topic as well. So we're really excited to have this guest on the show today to kind of explain what he's talking about and why certain things are so important.
Yeah, and regardless which platform you're watching us on, was it E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this discussion, all you have to do is just go to the comments on the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. But Chef, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. So the title of today's show is called Home, Honor, and Independence, mortgage solutions for veterans and seniors. And we're having a conversation with Mike Beal. He's a licensed mortgage broker, and he's going to discuss how his military experience shaped his mission in helping veterans to become homeowners. He's going to talk about the truth about VA loans, what most veterans don't know and why it is costing them, how reverse mortgages are empowering seniors, especially veteran families, and what every realtor, financial planner, and elder care professional should know about serving veterans. So again, Mike Beal is a licensed mortgage broker based in San Diego, California, with a passion for helping veterans and active duty military realize the dream of home ownership and helping seniors achieve financial freedom through reverse mortgages. With over 25 years of experience in the mortgage industry, he has built a reputation for personalized guidance and trustworthy service. Born in Stockton, he chose to enter the military within a year of graduating high school. Several of his family members before him had served, so it seemed like a natural fit. He intended to make the military a career, but the universe had other plans. Two blown knees early in his enlistment made the job he held in the Air Force almost impossible to continue. Not wanting to be moved to a desk job, he chose to leave the military after completing his 4-year commitment. Mike, he has a chance to work with current and former military members to help them realize the dream of home ownership was the deciding factor. He quickly excelled in the position, soon became an expert in VA, FHA, and conventional lending, and later reverse mortgages. But we're going to have him tell all about it. Please welcome to the show for the very first time, Mr. Mike Beal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the show, Mike. Wow. A couple of things. Life insurance. I was an insurance agent myself. Property, casualty, life, and health. So I know a little bit about that. And also, something else we have in common is veterans. And of course, I'm old, but that's okay. But I think our audience will get a whole lot out of this. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what made you click, why you're so passionate about what you do?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Stockton, a little kind of a farming town, I guess, in Northern California. Quite a few people there, population-wise, but I decided shortly after high school that I was going to enter the military and see the world. Ended up stationed 45 minutes from home, so that kind of ruined that plan. Not being discouraged by that, I decided I was going to put in for every remote assignment anywhere in the world, whatever I could do to go see the beautiful world. And about 6 weeks into my first duty assignment, I blew out my knee, which, if you're familiar with the military, if you're injured, you can't go anywhere. They call that medical hold. So I was on that for about a year while I had surgery and recovered. About a year into the recovery, while in physical therapy, I blew it out again. So that was another almost year and a half of medical hold, not being able to go anywhere. Kind of became disenfranchised with it at that point. Still very much wanted to make it a career, but couldn't keep crawling around on the ground, tight spaces. So I opted to get out. I did not want to cross-train into a desk job. I got out and coincidentally have been in a desk job for the last 25 years. So funny how things work.
Licensed mortgage broker. What inspired you, or who inspired you to pursue that option?
I had a friend who was in the mortgage industry. So I started out as a loan officer, which meant that I worked directly for a specific company. I could only offer their loan programs, their interest rates, et cetera. So if a more complex loan scenario came up, something that didn't fit the box of what that company did, or if they didn't have that niche, I had no choice but to leave that business and that opportunity to help someone on the table. So becoming a licensed mortgage broker allowed me to work with as many lenders as I needed to. Doing that allowed me to expand what I could offer to those who needed it. And now there's not really any loan scenario that I don't have the ability to help with. So
can you explain to our audience exactly what a loan broker officer does?
Yeah, I work with multiple banks. Again, whereas a loan officer, you work with just one. It allows me to shop around for the best programs and interest rates for a client, rather than only being able to offer, the products or rates of a single bank. When you can shop around like that, the borrower, the client wins every time, I think.
And that's true. But so people that are out here wondering, okay, yes, loan broker's officer, how that's going to benefit them?
Well, so brokers are considered wholesale. So think of the regular grocery store as retail, and then wholesale is Costco, right? So brokers send these wholesale banks much more business, so they get better pricing, right? If you go to the grocery store, we'll take eggs, seems to be the topic of the moment. Eggs cost a certain amount at the regular grocery store. If you go to Costco, you got to buy maybe twice as many eggs, but you get them for cheaper. So the same thing works with loans, because brokers send multiple loans, tons of business to these wholesale lenders. In most cases, you have discounted pricing being interest rates. There's some misconceptions that brokers mean high fees, and that actually couldn't be further from the truth. The rates, in almost every case, the rates are lower and better, and they have access to way more, brokers do, access to way more niche products. Not everybody is cookie cutter. Every customer that needs to get a mortgage, not everybody has great credit, makes a couple $100,000 a year, has a ton of equity. Some of them are self-employed. They don't show their income as well. It's more, shown in bank statements rather than pay stubs. So you get all those advantages from going through a broker.
And all those advantages are totally important, because people out there shopping for home, especially our elderly and veterans that do not understand, and if they go directly to the bank, they probably not going to get a very good deal, or might get turned away. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's one of the myths that still exist out there, is that dealing with the bank directly is the best way to go. Certain scenarios, it might be. Sometimes when you get into larger loan amounts, banks will incentivize you to go with them. If you place assets with them, investments with them, they may give you a better rate on a mortgage. But most people don't have a couple million laying around that they can just tell the bank, okay, here, I'll put this with you to get that better rate. So the normal person, the common person, doesn't have the ability to do that.
And you're absolutely right. I tell you what, we got to take a station break. But when we come back, Mike, we're going to get off into a lot more about the mortgage brokers. We're going to talk about the FHA. We're going to talk about veterans. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things. So I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments on the platform that you're watching us on, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. James, JC, Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just first segment, just talking with Mike, kind of enlightened and also brought back some things that I think we all need to understand, especially if you're a veteran, a senior, or just out just shopping that want to buy a house. All of this information is so important. And I think we need to take heed and just listen to them. Let this man teach us. Let him show us how to best save money and get the best possible deals and what we need to be looking for. So if you, whichever platform that you are watching us on, if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comment section, the questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. So, Mike, what lessons did you learn when you was in the military that you live by today?
I mean, there's quite a few, but I think that discipline is not about rigidity, right? It's about consistency. The military taught me, if you doing the right things the right way, day after day, builds trust, builds results. That same discipline, I think, helps me keep my promises to my clients, follow through on every detail. It's important to them. And if it's important to them, it needs to be important to me. I think integrity is not situational, right? Whether you're in uniform or you're in civilian clothes, doing the right thing, especially when no one's looking, is not negotiable. I need to work to give my clients the best deal that I can give them every time. It's not about, chasing the paycheck, as they say. I find that helping others succeed kind of naturally drives my own success. And all that stuff came from the military, helping people, helping the man next to you, helping the woman next to you, it's all kind of bled over for me.
I love it, man. I love how you just put that. You know, that leads us into the next question is, what are the most common misconceptions veterans have about a VA loan? The reason I said that, I believe that every home that I have bought, I use a VA loan where they pay 100%, all that other type of stuff. And if I decide to buy another home, I switch it, refinance it with a FHA. You know, we'll talk about that one a little bit later. But what are the most common misconceptions veterans have about a VA loan?
Well, I think the number one misconception is exactly what you just talked about. They think that they can only use their VA loan one time. You can use it multiple times as long as you have the entitlement available. You can use it as many times as possible. There's certain cases where you can have a VA loan on more than one home. Those are kind of special cases. It doesn't happen often, but another misconception is that they take forever to close. If you have a well-prepared VA loan, the time frame for closing isn't really any different than conventional loans, or delays usually happen from paperwork or communication issues, not really from the VA requirements themselves. Folks think that they can only be a first-time home buyer. You can use your VA loan for your first, your second, or your 10th home purchase, as long as you qualify and you have that entitlement restored. It's a non-issue. You can use it indefinitely. Money down payment. People, that's another big one. They think that they need a down payment because literally on just about every other loan, you need some sort of down payment. The VA does not require that. In most situations, they don't require that. So
they don't require that. Plus, it's 100% guaranteed to the lender.
Correct.
I have used my VA at least 14 times. Yeah, but the challenges that you just mentioned is it's kind of hard to have it on two properties at the same time. So when a better deal come out to refinance, where it's no money up front, all that stuff.
Correct.
It's best to do a FHA. You'll talk about that in a minute. To do that and free up your VA loan, because if you plan on buying again, that's money, just like you just said. You don't have to put any down payment down. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think I differ a little bit in that if you're looking to free up that VA benefit to buy an additional home, as long as you have equity in the place that you currently own, I would probably go conventional over FHA. Just FHA is front loaded with fees. You pay mortgage insurance regardless of the equity position that you have. If you have at least 20% equity in that home, I would go conventional instead. The rates might be marginally better on FHA, but with the front loaded fees and the monthly mortgage insurance, it wipes out any benefit of the interest rate being marginally better. So
you're absolutely right. And can you explain to our viewers and our listeners the difference? I mean, you're right about conventional. The difference between VA, FHA, and conventional.
Sure. So FHA is kind of it's very forgiving on credit. Not that you have to have poor credit to do an FHA, but if you have credit issues, if you have minimal down payment and you don't have the benefit of being active duty or a veteran, FHA is probably the loan for you. You can get away with as little as 3.5% as a down payment. Conventional, in most cases, is going to require a minimum of 5%. But again, FHA, you pay for that. There's the upfront mortgage insurance premium. It's a 1.75% of the loan amount that gets tacked on. So it adds to your balance, which increases your monthly payment marginally. If you don't have a VA benefit, but you have enough money to make at least a 5% down payment, I would go conventional. I feel like FHA is better reserved kind of for in case of emergency break glass. Even if you don't have a 20% down payment, a conventional loan, you do pay mortgage insurance monthly, but it is less. In most cases, far less than what the monthly mortgage insurance would be for FHA. You don't have the upfront 1.5% premium that FHA charges. Conventional doesn't have that. And then that brings us back to VA, which has none of those things. It doesn't require a down payment. There is no mortgage insurance if you decide to put money down and it's less than 20%. There's none of that, and the rates are great.
Can you explain the mortgage insurance to our folks one more time? Because a lot of people get caught with this, they're paying the mortgage insurance, and sometimes that's like $300-400 a month.
Indeed.
Because they choose to go that route, and with the VA and other mortgages, sometimes you don't have to do that depending on how much of a down payment you put on the house. Can you explain that?
Correct. So VA, regardless of if you put 0 down or you put anywhere between 0 and 20 down, the VA does not hit you with that monthly mortgage insurance. The monthly mortgage insurance is just a little bit of an add-on to your monthly payment. The closer you are to putting 20% down on conventional and FHA loans, that monthly mortgage insurance that gets tacked on will be less. The closer you are to putting 0 down. So in the case of conventional, if you only put 5% down, or FHA, you only put the 3.5%, that number is large. And it cuts it. Yes, the rates are better on FHA, but then you tack on $300 or $400 a month in mortgage insurance, and it wipes out any savings that you might get from that slightly lower rate. On conventional loans, the mortgage insurance, the lender will take it off if you request it once you've reached that 20% equity benchmark, if you will. FHA, in almost all cases, you have to refinance out of the FHA loan in order to get rid of that mortgage insurance. With an FHA loan, you could put down 50% and they're still going to hit you with the monthly mortgage insurance. So there's no getting out of it with FHA. That's why FHA is geared for folks that may not have much of a down payment, or their credit might be a little less. It's more forgiving credit wise.
Wow. So you're absolutely right about the FHA and paying that $400 or $500 multiple times and until you reach a certain amount. So can you talk about that just a little bit more?
I mean, it really is just, it's an insurance premium for the lender. It secures the lender if you were to default on the loan. If you're putting down less than 20%, it is a premium that covers the lender on that remaining 20% that you're over. So in most cases, if you never default on the loan, that money just kind of lines the pockets of the lender, really. It's just not, I would not go FHA. I'm not a huge fan. I do those loans, but I don't recommend them for people that can qualify for conventional or VA.
Well, Mike, why do many, let's say, eligible veterans end up not using their VA loan benefit?
I mean, gosh,
in your opinion.
Yeah. I think that they're miseducated by whoever they're working with. I think the misconception is that VA loans can take longer to complete, whether that's real estate agents being uneducated about how a VA loan works, or a bank or a loan officer, or even a mortgage broker, somebody that does what I do. The thought is, it's a myth, is that they're more of a hassle, that the requirements are more stringent. In certain things they might be, with property, the property cannot be in a total state of disrepair with the VA. But it also doesn't have to be pristine turnkey. You can buy a fixer upper with the VA. It can't be falling down, but so I think that veterans get steered away from the VA loan, and I think it's either misinformation or whoever they're working with being uninformed about how to really go at a VA loan and to identify what would be a good fit for it and what wouldn't.
Well, you identified something a few minutes ago about yourself that I utilize, and we got to take a station break. Honesty, integrity, and ethics. That's the type of person, a mortgage broker or whoever that you want to work with, that's going to have your best interests and is going to educate you on the possible solutions and the best opportunities. So I really appreciate you saying that earlier. And I can sense that in you just with your answers. But tell you what, audience, this is a great man right here. I clearly understand what he's talking about, because I did it. I to my mortgage broker, life insurance, all that stuff. So I understand. So that's why we can do the lingo. But what I'm trying to say is just knowing, if you want somebody that's going to take care of you, if you want somebody that's going to be honest with you, you have to have a guy like Mike. We're going to take a station break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk a lot more about this. You want to be part of the conversation with your platform that you're watching us on, just ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after break.
Your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are. Grow in faith. And build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders
I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and hey Michelle, I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation with Mike Beal because it's straight up. He's laying it out on the table just as it's supposed to be done. And anybody, especially in the San Diego area and the Southern California area, if they want a great mortgage broker, they need to reach out to Mike. Mike, how can they get in touch with you if they reach out to you?
They can certainly visit my website, www.mikebealmortgage.com. From there, you can message me. They can call me direct. It's okay if I give my cell number here?
No, you can do it all. And if you get an opportunity, if you can put it in the private chat and we'll post it.
I will absolutely do that. And I lend in all of California, all of Texas, all of Florida, and all of Michigan. So,
so you multiple.
We are, and potentially more states coming. Tennessee's on the radar. So looking to find places where people that are leaving California are going, and those seem to be some.
A lot of people leaving California because they cost. Michelle and I, we still live in Temecula, but we spend most of our time in Texas, in our home in Texas, because that's some serious costs.
Indeed.
Talking about and we haven't touched on this one yet. We touched on veterans. Let's talk about seniors a little bit. What are some of the things that you are doing to help seniors understand? Because they are a little older, might be apprehensive about buying homes.
Yeah, what we found, I have a colleague here in the office, we're at the age where we have aging parents, right? So we're seeing firsthand some of the struggles that they go through, right? They're retired, or, Social Security is just not enough. And who knows if that's even going to last. But it can be harder. So especially out here everywhere really, but in California, it used to be what we call a three-legged stool, which is what was needed for seniors to survive throughout their golden years. It was their pension from whatever job they worked there most of their life. It was Social Security, and it was whatever investments they might have gathered throughout that time. In California especially, but with the price of everything going up everywhere, by necessity, it's kind of become a four-legged stool, with that fourth leg really being the equity in their home. A lot of these seniors who have had their homes for a while are sitting on, for lack of a better word, a pile of money that could help them, whether that is simply to make ends meet each month. As you get older, the body starts falling apart a little bit. You might need care, whether it's a couple hours a day, and if something gets more serious, it might be round the clock care. And I can't speak to prices for a lot of that stuff in other states, but round the clock care out here in California in places like San Diego can be upwards of $25,000 a month,
Wow.
depending on the level of care
Hmm.
that they need. Um, most people don't have that unless you're independently wealthy. You just don't have that. And whatever savings you've amassed from your life of working goes really quick at 20 to 25 grand a pop per month. Some of them have VA benefits that will supplement some of that, or some of them have long-term care insurance that can work with that. But even then, sometimes that's not enough. But they're also on a fixed income, so accessing the equity to their home under a normal loan qualification is impossible. They could be sitting on $1 million or $2 million worth of equity in their home, but they can't qualify for a loan to get any of that money. So yeah, we've kind of dove in recent years. We've dove further into the reverse mortgage arena. Seniors, we call it aging in place. They want to age in place. They don't want to go to a home or go to a facility. So,
Mike, before you get into reverse mortgages, can you explain to the audience what exactly is a reverse mortgage, and what are some myths or negative assumptions about what reverse mortgages are and what they are not?
Yeah, well, the myths are long. Most of them are no longer myths, but sometimes those things stick in the mind of the public. So a reverse mortgage it allows seniors to convert their equity into tax-free cash flow, whether that's for if they want to travel, or like I said, long-term care, or simply just to make ends meet. Accessing that money without having to sell their home. They can take funds out of a reverse mortgage in the form of a lump sum. They can, depending on the equity situation, they can set up monthly payments. In most cases, they have a line of credit that is attached to that reverse mortgage that allows them to pull funds when needed. It's tax-free. That money, it doesn't affect Social Security, it doesn't affect Medicare. It can supplement their retirement income, especially for those on fixed pension or VA disability payments. It can be especially effective for that. And most importantly, it eliminates the mortgage payment. They qualify for it. They no longer have to make a mortgage payment. They can if they want to, or if they choose to, but it is not required. So, if you have a senior that is going into retirement or is getting up there in years, and they have, they're sitting on a $3,000 or $4,000 a month mortgage payment, it eliminates that mortgage payment. Now, it doesn't just vanish into thin air. The lender keeps track of the mortgage payments that are not being made. And so the balance of a reverse mortgage grows over time. With each payment that is not made, the balance increases a little bit. They never have to pay it back until they leave the home or they pass away. So
I'm glad you mentioned about, they pass away. So what protections are in place for the surviving spouse of a veteran regarding the reverse mortgage?
Yeah, the key with the surviving spouse, let me see, I got some notes here on it. If the surviving spouse was married to them at the time that the reverse mortgage was originated, and they meet, HUD's definition of, quote, eligible, they can stay in the home for the rest of their life without having to repay the loan immediately. In order to be eligible, the spouse, needs to have been properly disclosed at the loan closing when the reverse mortgage was originated, as what they call a non-borrowing spouse, meaning they're not a party on the loan, but they're listed as a spouse. They can continue to live there as long as it is their primary residence. They have to keep up with the property taxes, the homeowners insurance, and home maintenance. the lender's not sending anybody out with a ruler to check the length of the grass, but the home cannot fall into disrepair. That's the main key to it. So they're protected as long as they're disclosed properly at the time. The surviving spouse is protected.
Wow, that was so great information, because a lot of people don't know nothing about that. But that's just how it is. As long as they're there, as long as the spouse, as long as they keep up whatever that is, the surviving spouse can stay there until she or he passes away.
Indeed. And one more function of it is the standard reverse mortgage, often referred to as a HECM, home equity conversion mortgage. It is what they call a non-recourse loan. So the insurance that is on that loan, it's an FHA loan, coincidentally. But the insurance that is on there allows either the homeowner or their heirs, the kids, when they pass away, to never owe more than the home is worth. So if the bottom falls out of the housing market and the reverse mortgage balance is, up to $500,000, but the home is only worth $3,000, if they sell the home, they only have to pay the $3,000. The insurance that is on that home, the lender eats the rest.
Absolutely. We're going to take a station break. But Mike, man, this is so much this more information than I expected. So we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Mike a lot more. I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
VCU from USA. Welcome to Zanzibar. Habibi, welcome to Zanzibar. VCU.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
At Viridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Viridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. That's ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we got about seven minutes left in the show. But Mike, information that you're putting out is so valuable. I would love to have you back on the show again, part 2. I would love to have you back because we're not going to touch all the information that we need to put in one show, so it's going to require 2. So, Michelle, can you make that happen?
Oh, most definitely.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
So I want to pick it back up as you was explaining to, when reverse mortgage and all that, and the spouse passes, and you still got one spouse that's living in the house, and according to insurance and according to other rules and regulations, that spouse can continue to draw, especially from a veteran's perspective. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the surviving spouse certainly can stay if there is a line of credit on the property, as long as the surviving spouse was a borrower on the loan at the time, they can continue to draw funds from the line of credit that is as needed. If they were listed as a non-borrowing spouse, when the borrower on the loan passes away, they can still live there, but they lose the ability to draw further funds from the line of credit. So
let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Suppose the loan is paid off, pretty much.
Okay.
That probably don't happen that much, but the loan is, or maybe $100,000 or something like that, on the $900,000 home is paid off, and you do a reverse mortgage on the $100,000. How does that works?
Well, when you have that much equity, and it's, obviously it happens a lot out here in California because the prices are just nuts out here, but you do the reverse mortgage, the payment on the 100,000 goes away, right? So they're no longer required to make that. In situations where there's that much equity, that gives the senior more flexibility. If they say, hey, right now I don't need money for long-term care. I'm healthy, but I'm on a fixed income, and I could really use an extra $1,000 a month. With that much equity, you can set up a monthly stipend, if you will. You can set it up, hey, I want $1,000 a month for the next 5 years. If the calculations come out enough and they say, okay, you can get $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, however long that is, you can certainly do that. You can take lump sum money if you want. Again, it's tax-free income. There are some implications with VA, the aid and attendance with VA. If you take a lump sum of money, you can't really have that money. You need to spend it quickly on what you're going to spend it on. When the VA does their calculations, if you have a large sum of money sitting in your bank account, that counts as assets. So you need to, if you're going to take a lump sum of money from a reverse mortgage, you got to spend it strategically so that it doesn't mess up aid and attendance with VA.
So would you suggest if a house, say, $900,000, $1 million, and you only owe $100,000 on that house, and probably a reverse mortgage is not required. I don't think so, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think certainly the program is not one size fits all. And I think I probably talked to more folks where I steer them away from that just because it just doesn't make sense. I think it depends on where that senior is at financially at that time. On one hand, you can say, well, there's only 100,000 left on the loan. You know, if you got 100 grand in the bank, you know, you can pay that thing off and own it free and clear. But if they don't have that and the monthly payment is burying them, they may not be able to get through the next 3 years that it's going to take, their 4 years, 5 years to pay off that remaining 100,000. They may not be able to do that. So that's part of what we do when we speak with them. We really kind of analyze the whole scenario. We tell them early and often that it is not a one size fits all. The reverse mortgage is not for everybody. It really is situational. We really try to bring in the heirs, the children. They don't necessarily like when their parents pass away and they find out that their equity has been cut into inheritance. Little, you know how that can go. So we try to make it a family event when we talk about those things. We want everybody that might be involved in the decision making now or down the road to be a part of it now.
You know what, Mike? Yes, I want to have part 2, Michelle, within the next month or so, if Mike's schedule permits, because this information is so critical. And we learned a whole lot today. You know, so Mike, I want to thank you. Michelle will be reaching back out to you and checking your schedule. So I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show today to discuss this, because you have enlightened us and you have enlightened our viewers and our audience. So thanks so much.
Well, I thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Michelle, I want to thank you so much for putting together another outstanding show. I want to thank Joshua Goldsmith for making this referral. He is a very, very good man.
Indeed, he is.
Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners who tune into the James Cooley Show worldwide, 171 countries, on 84 different platforms, daily, live. My motto to all of you will always be the same. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
Doctor.